Hey everybody,
Hello.
welcome back to another
Yes.
edition of Trekyards Live.
It's a show we do that's a live show. We try and make it a show as well. Informative, and the fact that we keep to about 2 hours each time shows that like our brains work in a similar way to the same amount of information. It's kind of very consistent.
Yeah, weirdly so.
Yeah. And we're here to look at TNG. We did season one. Pretty good for its own thing. At least
It
enjoyable for
was.
us. And now we're here for season two, episode two. Hopefully, a improvement on episode one. But I think it's fair to say we've reached a new high mark for season two.
Yes, absolutely.
The
If not,
bar, yes.
I consider this one of the better episodes of all of TNG, honestly.
Ooh, small
I don't
spoilers,
know.
but I'm happy to hear.
I like
Um,
it.
yeah. Uh,
AC Costello is a Trekyards superstar because he put in $2 super chat before the live even
ooh,
started.
that is very super, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you. Did he have a comment?
No, he did not.
Oh, he's just super in his own. Wants us to keep making them, so he wants to make that heard. Because guys, if you don't help us out, then we can't keep making them, and we do legitimately enjoy these, and they are. I think
Hopefully
they had
people get
something.
hopefully people get something informative out of them because I know I do each time we do these. Either I learn
Mm.
something from you guys in the chat. Samuel makes me think about something new in the episode. So hopefully our conversations spark some thoughts in you guys that you might not have thought about. Because I've been watching Star Trek for my whole life, and I'm learning new stuff all the time with these. So, but yeah, let's see, 38 people here. Um, yeah, are you going to share this?
I will. So I'll see you guys in a minute.
Yeah. All right, guys. So you know the drill. Super chats are super important. Like I said, I put in that little thing before the chat started. If anybody wanted to super chat before the episode got started, you'd be a Trekyard superstar, and we want to continue to call people Trekyard superstars because that just sounds cool, I guess. So if you want to get your question answered, your voice heard, whatever, super chat, and we will read that for sure. We try to read a lot of other stuff in the comments as well. However, we do miss a few things, especially when it's a lively chat, and we look forward to hearing from all of you. So if you can super chat, it's a great way to help us out, and also um, have other people see what you're saying. So. Um, also, there's other ways to help us. One of the best ways is Patreon. That's link to that is down below if you want to help us on a monthly basis. With YouTube kind of being a rocky place these days as far as a lot of different things go, policies that are coming down the pike, and just overall not being guaranteed to be favored in the YouTube algorithm. Patreon is a great way to support us if you guys want to see more of us. And the link for all that is down below. Plus, there's a lot of other cool stuff down there. Some Teespring stuff, get some Trekyards merch and whatnot as well. And yeah, save yourself some money on Eagle Moss ships, things like that. Also, PayPal is another great way if you want to send us money directly and not have YouTube take 30% right off the top. A great way to do that is by sending PayPal. And of course, just let us know or the moderators know that you have sent to PayPal in the regular chat, and we will check it on the email, and we will die from coughing. I mean, no, we will read your question or comment from your Patreon. Don't worry about my persistent coughing. It's not persistent. It's been off and on for the past like 2 weeks. Same thing happened like a year ago. It's just like a phase I go through, I guess. If I die, I die. The air is the air. What can be done? You know, as a famous Vulcan once said. But yeah, lots of great ways to help us out. And please consider doing that. We love engaging with you guys. It's a great community that we have. And we love seeing regular faces, regular names show up to these YouTube lives. We really get a sense of, as I said, community, and we feel like we know you guys. So anyway, he should hopefully be back in a minute. But David Bessig throws in 5. Oh yes. Before I get to your thing, David Bessig, Dark Lord 06 just reminded me, hit the like button, guys. Everybody that's here, hit the like button immediately. Let's get up to 50 likes right away. And that's one of the best ways to help us out as well. Is just hit the like button, show YouTube that you like our content, and show us know that you want to see more of it. And don't forget to share the video around as well, because a lot of people might be interested in seeing some TNG reviews. So, David Bessig, though, $5. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
One Riker, one bridge. Oh, yes. One Riker, one bridge. It's like, calm down there, Worf.
Well, he's having a thing.
He is.
I don't know if it continues, or if it's just like this was the prequel to Insurrection in that sense.
Good point. Good point.
Kind of felt like that.
Yeah. Well, they waited a long time for that, egg to hatch. Jeez.
And Tangerini Star 26 has a very lovely comment. You guys are the best, providing outstanding programming every time. You've reunited my love for Trek. Thank you. Well, that's a hell of a compliment.
Well, thank you. Yeah. Actually, a lot of people have said that we've rekindled their love of Star Trek over the years. So, Remember, Samuel, when we started on YouTube, which was 5 years ago, on October 10th. October 10th is our 5-year anniversary, by the way, guys.
God. So we were already talking at this point. I've known you 5 years at this point.
Yeah. Well, remember when we started, though? We prided ourselves on being the only weekly YouTube or only weekly Star Trek content available, because there were no shows on TV at the time.
It's true.
We said that quite a bit at the beginning. Now there's a whole bunch of YouTube, Star Trek YouTube sites, stuff that has come after us, and now we kind of just we've been here for a while. We keep trudging along, and we're gonna keep doing it too, as long as you guys support us and help us out. So
yeah, right. We're like the granddad to that. I mean, obviously, people do YouTube videos about Star Trek, but a weekly show, yeah, certainly
with new content, yeah.
Yeah, new interviews,
new renders.
Yeah, and there wasn't really, ship looking at videos for most franchises. The whole YouTube culture blew up a lot because we didn't do it to do a YouTube show. It was just let's do. I'm an editor, we're an information gatherer. The medium makes sense on YouTube. There wasn't necessarily being a YouTuber. It was just this is a platform that people watch. Mm-hmm. That wasn't in my head saying, "Oh, let's do YouTube." It's like, well, where else are you gonna put it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, weird. But I mean, look at things we've done. I always say, while we are not YouTube famous, we have incredible amounts of respect in the community. Met all people, friends with lots of them, done amazing events, a lot of 3D models. I mean, there's stuff that you can never. Those channels might have more success and more money, but they have none of those things for the most part. So, it's relative.
And we enjoy it, and that's important. So
yes.
But let's
start. Bloody well going to enjoy looking at the new shows with you all. That's going to be hella fun.
Yeah, like a new golden age of Star Trek. Yes. Some might disagree, saying it's not really Star Trek, but we'll have to see. Picard's not out yet. Lower Decks isn't out yet. Nickelodeon show's not out yet. Lots on the horizon, guys.
Yes, and it is worth just mentioning that we are doing an anniversary stream on the 10th, which is a Thursday. It's literally next Thursday for the. We'll do another drunk stream Thursday. So hopefully you guys will join in for our 5-year anniversary. I would love to get some guests on. I already asked Laura if he wants to come along. He says he'll try and make it. If you want to send out some feelers, just like, we'll be on for a bit. Who wants to just come on and say hi? Would be fun. Okay. Yeah, be kind of casual. Because last time we tried to do something like that and you go out the Skype.
Everybody called in at the same time. Yeah.
And when you have 13 people, it kills the internet, and I've got faster internet now, so it's not practical. So, but if you bring 1 or 2 guests on, would be nice. Me and Trekker maybe come on for a few minutes would be nice. Talk about it, because 5 years is half a decade. Is absolutely absurd. While we're not here to talk about this today, you brought it up, and it's certainly nice. And yes, we're coming along for the 10th. I'm sure we'll do it roughly the same time, probably a little bit earlier, so it can be longer. We'll have some just nice chill drinks, and if you want to super chat. Thank you for 5 years, then that'd be great.
And Transworld Sims has just found this channel a couple of months ago.
Oh, wow.
Haven't missed a stream since.
Oh, my
Nearly God. Done binge watching your other content too. So keep it coming, guys. Great work. Well, thank you very much.
Crazy and incredible person. Thank you. That makes me feel wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yes. You have a lot of content, so I feel sorry for you.
You have not lived. You have not lived. Maybe you have lived. So Stuart.
Yes.
Where Silence Has Lease.
Mm-hmm.
Your overall short thoughts. Full spoilers.
Better than I remember. Again, I remember Nagilum quite a bit, but I forgot a lot of the little things in this episode. But as a whole, I mean, it does. This is what Star Trek does best: the unknown, the weird, the nothing makes sense. Traveling at warp 6 and coming back up on your beacon. Things like that you wouldn't necessarily think apply in the real world. So Star Trek at its best, I think it's got some really cool concepts and ideas, and it's just a fun ride, this one. Although I've noticed in these rewatches that the wrap-ups always seem to be very quick. It's almost like that was a whole hour, really. It's like, a lot is put in there, but the wrap-up always seems so quick and so convenient. I mean, not always so, especially in later seasons. It carries over to different episodes, but man, it was a fun ride, and it's like all of a sudden it's over. It's like, really? That was it? That was kind of easy in a way. I remember it being a lot more involved, a lot more complicated. But I could be confusing different aspects of different, because I was sure that this was the one that had the Enterprise view from the top, like a whirlwind beneath it, like a drain almost with clouds, and getting pulled in like this. I was sure that this was the episode, and it's not. So maybe that's why I thought this had more to it, but it was still really well done, well paced, and good. So
nice. Yeah, cool. This was worse than I remember. But mostly from a pacing issue. It's a incredibly consistent, very long, slow ride. That you're right, is a very quick end, which is not innately good nor bad, depends how you handle it. A lot of shows, so think of a movie, right? Think of a rom-com, basic rom-com, right? You have the setup to the premise, the middle fun where anything can happen, then the you know what's going to happen end. And once you hit the end third, it's like, obviously going to end up together. And then you just sort of, you know what I mean? There's nothing really special about the end, it's just the end. There's a great film I saw with Drew Barrymore that took a different approach, where it started the same, the middle, and they literally had the conflict until the last 6 minutes. And so you were wondering the entire time, and then they wrap up really quick, but it's really sweet because it's like, and boom. It's like, oh, okay, we kept the suspension the entire time. And some shows are very contrived, where it's like some set up a lot of whatever, then a lot of end. This one is all continuing setup and then done, which means the main story is very full, but it means the end is a little bit lax. It mostly works. So I want to say at the end, I have the one problem with the ending that could have made it better, like a lot better. We'll get there when we get there. It's a very small thing, but I like this one. I just think it is a little bit too slow. Even though it has fun action beats, it's like a smidge too slow. Just a bit. It's just a bit. Need something
different
else.
takes on it. I like that.
Yeah. I just remember being a bit more like fascinating.
Well,
yeah.
Ian Warrender sent us $5 on PayPal, so thank you very much, Ian. Season 2 TNG reminds me so much of Season 3 of TOS. Overall, a weak Trek season pinpointed by amazing episodes like this that are the best of Trek. So, yeah. A lot of people say that TOS or Season 3 doesn't have a lot of good episodes. I kind of disagree with that. It's got one or two stinkers, but the rest are pretty good. So, but anyway, that's another topic for another day.
So we start off flying through space.
What a shock!
And then Picard is basically pacing nervously in a sense, and then sits down. And he looks really, and you've got subtitles on. Okay, turn them off. That's funny. And it's just an odd scene with a very, very close up. And this does not fit in this episode particularly. This is obviously they had a shit. We need to pad 4 minutes.
Yeah, I thought this would go somewhere.
Yeah,
it kind of does a little bit, but not so much. Jeff Jacobs puts in 251, 50 likes in 15 minutes. Perfect. Ooh, yeah. Again at 100. Hashtag Happy Jeff. Ooh, Happy Jeff. Haven't had that hashtag before.
Ooh, yeah. And that's a great point for Jeff. We got 101 views, which is really, really good. Awesome. 54 likes. That is over half what we've got. So you guys know you can like. Please do. We always try and get 100 at the minimum. And I guarantee by the time you guys listen to this, it's not delayed, we'll have 70 likes. So click that like button right now. Don't prove me wrong. We're at 57, so we're going up slowly. Click the like. Get us to 70.
Hit like.
But do you like this intro scene with Picard?
I mean, I don't dislike it. It's kind of odd and out of place, and it's like this is the B plot all smashed in between the beginning of the episode and the opening titles. And then it's brought up a little bit. It's brought up a little bit once in the episode, but
it's just played really seriously.
Yeah, but
it means nothing. It doesn't, That said, I think the jungle bit is for its time really well done.
Yeah. Well, it should be said too that Troy says, you're worried. Who you worried about? Both of them, Riker and Worf. It's like, what? And then and then he says, oh, there's sometimes better of the Klingon psyche.
Yeah.
So I guess Riker wanted to.
Well, you can tell they try to set them up as being friends here, like a double act. The fact they spend the entire episode together, they kind of get that vibe, which I'm okay with, although Worf doesn't necessarily reciprocate the buddy yet. Yeah, and he's in a holodeck program to basically beat shit up. That is Yeah.
And one thing that always stuck with me ever since I was a kid was this skull monster guy.
Yes.
I always thought it was such a cool visual and a cool alien. I wanted to know more about the alien. I forgot about the turtle-like guy that has like the armor on his back. But very cool, both aliens and really cool fight scene. And it kind of gets the action going right away. It's like, whoa. But then at the end, I mean, Worf is... and Riker's like, the exercise is over. At ease, Lieutenant. Because Worf is about to like take it out on Riker. It's like, damn, son. How did he get through Starfleet Academy with all this training? I mean, man. And yeah, the gloved weapon is very cool, AC Costello.
Gmon78 is here. Hello, Gmon. So you like Skeletor's cousin, do you?
Yes. Yeah.
I like this scene. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, I think we see that alien again in a holodeck program later.
Where he fights with his
head gets cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah, the head gets sliced in half, and then that's why I remember it. I think. But
it's a great. I mean, the whole thing's great art design. I do think though the stunts are a little bit TOS weak. Yeah. Especially the way Reich comes in and like does a somersault over him. It's like, how is that a move? It's sort of 80s, a bit fun, not really serious. Although I thought Riker really wants to beat this guy up. Like he's actively he's here just to punch people. I was like, is Riker okay? Because this is venting something. That's
he's still mad about the last episode where an alien violated his ex-girlfriend.
Seriously, okay, there you go. Bit of continuity.
But we got another super chat. I love the name. Oh my goodness, my big elephant-sized anus puts in 2 pounds. At Trekyards, Silence does not have lease. Winky face. Dun dun dun. Yeah, the title of this episode confuses me a little bit. Usually you can see why an episode is titled the way it is.
Yeah.
This one's kind of like,
It's just a fancy sounding name,
Yeah.
But it's a good fight. It's okay. It makes me not cringe because I like him obviously, but it's amazing how season 2, episode 2, Worf is given a pride of place, and it's like Tasha did not get any of this. Instantly have him start.
She would have if she would have stuck around for season 2.
Sure. I mean, this could have been her as well. This would have been absolutely the same. Could have swapped them out and no problem. And yeah, Riker has to, because he's gonna fight Riker. Now, initially you think it's because he's like hate. It's a weird context. Though, really is just imagine the Klingon culture. You fight. It's fun. Why wouldn't
you got that adrenaline? Like you're just pumped up. Yeah.
Well, his blood's boiling. His, the hunger for battle.
I mean, what do Klingons usually do? They usually headbutt each other. I'm sure right after a fierce battle, where they've been doing this, that the warriors just all like smashing heads together, like we did it. So, I can buy that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Worf says usually these are more intense, and those ones are too personal to share. So it's like, wow, okay, cool, good to know. But yeah, that's the holodeck sequence, and
you really are led to believe this is going to be important because it's such a strong setup, relatively speaking.
yep,
And think about the money spent to redress this set and all that stuff. I mean, it's a legitimate money spend. I mean, the whole episode's a bottle show, so I guess maybe they realized they had excess money, which is, to be fair, that could be easily the case. They didn't spend any money on the next episode. They said, let's do a really big opener. They can, because it's in the trailer. Because I'm watching in the Blu-ray, there's the original, the next time on Star Trek Next Generation.
yeah,
And this is one of the only ones I've seen in 28 episodes. They actively deceive the audience. They show the action beats implying something.
yeah.
So maybe that was like the trailer file to get people back in it. I don't know.
Yeah, we're sorry about that first episode, guys.
Possibly, seriously. I mean, maybe. Start with something big and cool. And I'm actually really impressed by this next bit. They holodeck out, and I'm not sure how they do it because it's a really good optical effect because they're not on green screen because it's too good lighting.
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm assuming they mask around them because only his arms at the end. I'm assuming because it's a really good crossfade. Although the ground doesn't match up with the ground, but that's a minor thing. It's not perfect, but it's a really good lighting transition that blue screen would look worse. It's good.
Very cool. I'm glad that you don't know how they did it. That makes me smile a little bit because you usually know, and you're like you ruin the magic tricks.
Yeah, I mean, they probably just masked around them, but that was a deliberate way of like, it's quick. We'll just make it look sexy.
Yeah.
Annoying at the time, but they did it.
But then we get the title of the episode, where Silence Has Lease, and they're basically in a sector space. They're exploring a known sector, and all of a sudden they an area of blackness ahead of them, and I'm looking at the view screen going, okay, don't see it. Neither did Picard, which is nice. But it's been disappearing and reappearing, and so it's like a hole in space. So they magnify it, and again, it's really cool. Looks like a tissue. Really cool effect, though. But sensors indicate nothing, absence of anything, no energy, no matter, because he says there's nothing there, and Picard's like, there's got to be something. But and the worst part is, this is the worst part, where they say, Data, has there been any record of anything like this? Searching. No record of any Federation vessel encountering anything ever remotely like this. There's actually a video on YouTube somewhere that shows all the instances that this was a thing before, or other times in Trek. It's just black nothingness that the sensors can't read. So Dreamer out there says, Trekyards, you're watching the remastered TNG, and season 2 as the remaster was outsourced to another company, which did subpar work compared to CBS Digital. A la Sam pointing out the floor being wrong. Well, that. But yeah, we actually talked about that yesterday when we were pointing out the effects.
The planets are awful.
Yeah.
Just lack of care and attention. But I mean, if this is a season that everyone likes less, and I guess they thought, we can give it to a cheaper vendor, because there's 3 we have to focus on. And they do Measure of Man as a separate Blu-ray, so maybe they had that as like a separate company, like you just focus on this one to get that one right. But my comments on this scene, I like the fact that Riker's doing his leg trick thing. Who thought that was a good idea? I'm sure he just did it, and no one told him not to. They thought, oh, that's interesting, because it's just like, wow, he really owns that bridge. I do like this scene. I like the fact they say, look, and there's nothing there, and there is nothing there. Like, it's not actually there. And the hole in space. Yeah, I mean, that's. I love the Easter egg or the continuity video where it says a hole in space cut
every other time. Yeah.
And they really should have known. There's only 69 TOS episodes. I'm sure they had to rewatch them all in preparation. It was a very stupid mistake.
Well, yeah, there's one in the immunity syndrome.
Yeah, that looks basically identical. It's absurdly close. So it was just a stupid, whatever. Doesn't detract too much. It's just data. I just data had a bad day, you know, because it's all on data's words. The data has a virus or something.
There you go.
But I like the simplicity of this, you know. And I mean, this one is science forward. Well, no, actually, technically, it's a fight with alien monsters first. But after the fight, it's science. Yes. And it's definitely, at its core, a Star Trek episode. We're trekking to the unknown. And Picard's instincts are like, well, let's investigate. You know, not that it is nothing, because nothing always has something. Even black holes have gravity. You can detect gravity fields. Or, this is the lack of anything. It's an interesting concept, for sure.
Yep, but they decide to launch a probe into it, and it's a really cool probe launch, I gotta say.
Yeah, it really makes you get confused about the scale a little bit. And this is actually one of the very few CGI shots of the D, I think, if I recall. So it's Tobias Richter's model.
That's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, that probe disappears.
Yeah.
And right away, Worf's like, "Recommend we go to yellow alert, sir." And Picard turns around like, "Why, Mr. Worf?"
Excuse me?
Yeah. The ship operates best when my officers share what's on their mind. And then he talks about an ancient Klingon legend of a space monster that devours entire vessels. Which is kind of cool to hear, actually. And I wonder if it was Nagilum, you know? But anyway. So they decide to launch another probe, this time a Class 1 with a full sensor array. And it also gets consumed by the thing quicker than the last time. Then Wesley's like, well, I determined the outer boundary of it. I can move closer to it if you want. Yes, thrusters only. And so they move and full stop. And then all of a sudden, they get enveloped within the anomaly. It just moved out and basically encapsulated them. So thanks, Wesley. Not really his fault, I guess, but you know. Can't hear you, Samuel.
Oh, sorry, that's why I was wondering why. I was moving them. I thought my headphones were dying. No, a couple of little things. It's weird that they launched the first probe, and they say, "Oh no, well let's launch the second one with a full sensor suite." It's like, well, why did you send the first one then? How redundant was that?
It's just a standard probe. The Class 1 has more shit on it.
Just send the Class 1 then.
I know.
You can make them. So that was just a weird choice. I know to make it disappear. And boy, Worf, I mean, I know it's his aggression because he's doing the right thing right now, but it does seem out of place without the context that he's like, "Should we fire?" It's like, what?
Well, this is the beginning of Worf getting shut down all the time.
Yes.
A little too aggressive there, Worf.
Although he really should have said yes to yellow alert. I mean, that's reasonable. Shields. I mean, that's
yes. Yeah.
That's reasonable. Although, as soon as they said get us closer, I'm like, what reason could you possibly have to get closer?
Our sensors will work better if we're right on the edge of it.
Don't think that's how the sensors... I mean...
No, I was being facetious.
I know, and I'm not doing well with this information. No, it a little bit contrived, although I absolutely adore, first of all, the view screen sequences. They put a lot of effort into the view screen shots. The angles, the chroma keying, legitimately some really good view screen angles. Well done them. And the way that it is a very, very good effect. It's bloody simple, but it looks really well done.
Don't ruin the magic for me. Don't tell me how they did it. I'm just kidding.
And the fact they're so abrupt is nice.
Yeah.
And isn't Riker's beard slightly different in this episode? Like he's refined it?
Yeah, it's a little bit more refined. Yeah, it's not as shaggy.
It's neater. He looks better. Yeah. It's still a little bit too big, but it looks better.
Yeah. So they're in the anomaly, and they go sit down, and Riker's like, remember the course in Starfleet Academy about ancient history, where men still believe the Earth was flat? That must be the early 2000s, because there's a lot of dipshits that think the Earth is flat still. And that the sun revolves around the Earth, and if you sailed too far out, you would fall off the edge. crews would often threaten to hang their captain from the yardarm if he didn't turn back. But yeah, that was I kind of like that. But then we get the realization that there's Wesley says, "I have no communications outside the void." Where basically we can't communicate with anybody. So Riker's like, "Okay, well, complete your scans. Let's not stay any longer than we have to." Okay. I would have probably been trying to get out already, but that's okay.
Whereas last week I was concerned and annoyed by the lack of concern, this week because the way it envelops them, you can kind of still think of it as you just went through a membrane. It was you that moved, not it, and therefore you can still go back and kind of see that. And they are scientists, but yeah, it mostly works.
Yeah, but then Pulaski comes on the bridge, and they're like, in this anomaly, they got the view screen on, and they're like, magnify 100 times, 1,000 times, or whatever Picard says. And then she's like, well, I'm not a bridge officer, but increase magnification by 1,000.
Oh, sorry, Stuart. 1 second. You're gone. Nope. Still gone.
It does know how to do these things.
Still gone. Still gone.
What was the last thing you heard?
Oh, hi, Stuart.
No, I'm not.
View screen. You said about view screen.
Still gone. So they increased the magnification 10, 100. And then Pulaski's like, well, I'm not a bridge officer, but increase magnification by 1,000. Now 10,000.
Yep.
And then turns around and says, it does know how to do these things, doesn't it? No, we just put him there because he looks pretty. Like, we don't actually, he's not qualified to be at that seat at all. Forgive me, Mr. Data. And I'm not used to working with non-living device. Excuse me again. Oh, man, your service record does say you're alive. I'm going to have to learn to live with that. Wow. Why don't you just go and piss off? Like, really? That is rude. That is rude.
You know, she has an oath of care. Trained bedside manner. Where has that gone? I mean, even if
he's not a person, it doesn't matter.
But that's the thing, though. So in her brain is so quick to looks like a person, speaks like a person, but obviously machine, that she doesn't even accidentally give it the what was the thing where you give a thing humanoid traits?
Oh,
anthropomorphize?
Yeah, anthropomorphize, yes.
Yeah, she's like, her brain just doesn't do that for him. Doesn't even give him that doubt, benefit of the doubt. So she instantly just... But that's not how I think you'd react. You'd most of the time you'd be like, oh, I forgot you're not actually human. Rather than, you bitch ain't human. Oh, but you can do a few things. It's like, yeah, it's incredibly forced. And doesn't add anything. It just detracts from the scene. It's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it builds her character, which is an awful person, and it doesn't stop here. So, anyway, then there's a talk of where they might be. Did we slip into another dimension? And I love Data. He's like, could a lack of dimension be in itself another dimension?
It's great.
Yeah.
Oh, and happy to know 134 people watching, which is brilliant, and 80 likes because
I have 138 watching.
Ooh. We've got so many extra people. We should be able to get to the 90 likes. We had they got 81. Click the like button, guys.
Oh, we can't get to the. They don't know how to click the like button. I challenge them to try to find it. It looks like a thumbs up, guys. Anyway, David Bessick throws in $10.
Ooh, thank you.
The Doc comes off as such a horrible person in this episode. Could have fixed by giving her a backstory where robots did something horrible that affected her or killed her family or something. Absolutely, but that's never gone into. It might be in a novel or something, one of the books, but it's never explained on screen. So she's just an awful person.
And Devereaux says, remember the EMH's bedside manner? That's true, but he's designed for like half an hour of emergency service. Therefore, like that's. I mean, he just has to go in and if you're that badly injured to need him, either the person so quickly just put him under. He's not there to chat to anybody. He's just there to do his job. The job is medical.
Joseph Patrick puts in 2 euros and says Pulaski is as nice as the Voyager season 1 doctor. #Pulaski. Yeah, but he was for emergencies. He was literally a triage doctor.
Yeah.
Just do what you need to do.
And
You don't
quick.
need bedside manner.
And
Yeah,
quick.
you don't need bedside manner. You need to be able to communicate with the other doctors and the patient
Yeah.
directly in an emergency. That's all he was just designed for.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
although I will say Pulaski is smart in the episode. She's a competent officer. I do appreciate that.
yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I will not take that away from her. And she's good at her job when she does do her doctoring.
Yeah.
And with people, she got good bedside manner with people.
Can I call out some positives though?
Yes, by all means.
I absolutely love the in the fog, no light on the ship. They've just not layered in the normal diffusion light pass. I love it. It looks great. It's obviously been it wouldn't look exactly like that, but that's fine. It's a cool thing to have. Again, lots of view screen stuff. I really love the simplicity, and it's a non-effect, but sometimes the non-effect is best. That when they say zoom in and when they move, the view screen never changes. It doesn't like spin. It literally does not change. It goes beyond the fog of moving. It just does not change. That I love the idea of that. I just find
even when they do the magnification, it doesn't change at all. It's
yeah. But that brings up a bigger question. Oh yeah.
I would be thinking my view screen is defective. I'd be like kicking it. Is it working? I don't even know.
That's the question. I mean, how much of this is Nagilum tricking their sensors? Because you don't necessarily get that as a sense, because otherwise he would just stop the self-destruct at the end. I mean, I feel like Nagilum doesn't have that sort of level of control over physical reality, as opposed to, you know, his levels of abilities are very undefined. But I'm wondering, you know, does it just not want him to scan him, and therefore he reads as nothing because he's just making a blind spot? Because they trust their measurements so precisely, despite clearly don't maybe think about, are they correct at this point? So many weird things happening, like you know. And to note, if you recall in Star Trek Discovery, they had a moment when they zoomed in with a physical camera, and then inside the physical camera's picture, Saru zoomed in into the pixels but saw more. Which is not how it works, but whatever. That could magnify down to a moon. This can magnify 10,000 times. That's pretty far. I'll be honest with you. That's really, really good. That was a big number to throw out. It kind of reminds me of Enterprise when the NX zooms into the dudes talking from orbit. It's like, Jesus!
Yeah. They can do that now with spy satellites. Wow. You can see what somebody's writing on a pad of paper from orbit. It's like, wow.
But I'm saying that was very impressive. But I love the lack of anything. Sorry, just a few good things I thought was good in that moment.
But this is where they decide to move us out of here. Starfleet can send a science vessel to investigate this further. Impulse. Let's get out of here. And nothing's happening. Increase to warp 2. Well, first they call down engineering. Are the engines operating properly? Yes, sir, they are. I'll increase to warp 2 then. Jerry's like, all right, cool. And then nothing seems to be happening. But sensors show they've traveled 1.4 parsecs.
Wow. So
that's quite far.
And speaking of quite far, we actually now have 155 people watching, which is amazing.
Ooh, welcome, everybody. Hit
Yay,
like.
People joining.
And subscribe. I feel like most of the people here are subscribed already, though.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Yeah.
But here they get the brilliant idea of dropping a beacon to see how far they've traveled.
Yeah. It's a good idea.
And I like the sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. Like you can hear it getting further and further away, and then it just starts coming back. It's like we're coming up on something. And they just basically come up to the sensor or the beacon they just launched.
This is such a good episode where it's thought over action. And the thought is like, this beacon is a genius idea, and you wouldn't think of it unless you thought of it. It's not an obvious strategy, but it's very clever. There's lots of very clever things they do that have zero budget requirement, pretty much, you know, and yet enhance it. And to cut out again some nice things, I really love the shot where we see Picard and then it cuts to Riker's arm and then it goes into focus and goes up. It's really like
because he's not he's not at ease. He's very
Yep.
agitated because his fingers are starting to tap. It's
Yep.
like he's getting nervous. So
Yep.
I do like that. Yeah, that was great.
I mean, the pace is so deliberately slow, but it's layered, it's textured slow. That is the point. The edit. I just think it's a little bit too slow, but these moments are nice to watch because they're crafted. It's a very crafted piece. So that moment I like, and the fact they're waiting, because the fact is, I guess we'll just wait and see what happens. Yep, going warp. Okay. Although didn't it occur to you that? So currently they think they are in a potential pocket dimension where nothing exists. What makes them think they can open a stable subspace bubble in nothing to go to warp inside nothing? Why did no one mention that? I wouldn't think you could create a stable warp bubble, let alone, you know what I mean? That struck me as very strange that they could even think they could generate a warp bubble.
Well, I mean, with Impulse not seeming to work, it was worth a try anyway.
It was. But I wish they'd mentioned it. It's not an issue because it doesn't matter anyway. But I felt like they were too. Of course we'll have a warp drive in this non-universe. It's like, but the laws of
technology solves all our problems, don't you know?
Yeah.
Jeff Jacobs puts in $3.02 and says 100 in under 45 minutes. Awesome. Again at 152. # make Jeff pay. Dun dun dun. Thank you, Jeff. Much appreciated.
And Devereaux77X says, notice the flip up displays are gone on Picard's chair. They are static upright displays. Yes, Andrew Probert was not happy because he designed those carefully, and they're replaced with less functional items. But it's because they broke. They were difficult to make and fragile, and they broke them. So they replaced them with easy to not break, despite being less functional. So
yeah. Well, yeah.
And the beacon scene's great. It's very atmospheric, haunting. It's very good. Very good.
But then sensors indicate that there is a vessel in sector 108, and I'm like,
look,
how
over there.
How is there a sector in nothingness?
Well, they think they've moved out. I got that too because they keep plotting to places outside of it. So they think they're going outside of. They're using like as if they've moved map rather than they're in a non-space. But yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Anyway, it's a Romulan, guys.
Dun, dun, dun. Fire first.
They decloak and they fire, and there's quite a bit of rocking on the ship. It was quite a powerful hit.
Yep.
And so they return fire, and that makes Worf happy. Because the Romulan go boomy.
One hit. One torpedo.
Yep. But miraculously, no debris.
Oh. And did you notice a very, very weird edit of blows up, Custer Jordan like, yeah, we killed 1,000 Romulans.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not just him. There was a few of them that I didn't get the first one. I forget who smiled first, but it's like, yeah.
That's a very inappropriate edit. I don't like it because you killed 1,000 people or more. I mean,
but they're Romulans. They're not people. They're Romulans.
And they're explorers, not murderers. So,
But you know what? Whenever you play Bridge Crew, you know how many people you murder each mission? Because it's not about exploring. I mean, some episodes.
But you shouldn't grin.
I do.
Well, yeah, but you're a monster.
I know.
Speaking of, guys, please
do... Jordy, though.
Yeah. Please do Super Chat, guys. Not many people have supported yet, which is fine. But, put your comments, your thoughts, your questions. We'd love to hear what you think about this episode, these scenes. Any amount, $1 to more. We'd love to read out your thoughts and comments for this episode.
Apparently we have a PayPal. I will check that.
Ooh, it's got so many people. 154.9. But yeah. Lance Rippling. Blowing shiz up is what Starfleet does. JK.
I don't see a PayPal.
It does take a little while to do.
Okay.
Sometimes.
Well, we'll check in a second, Jeff.
Yes.
But yeah, then guess what? There's another ship. NCC 1305E.
No.
Yep. Yep.
I did not hear that. I'm gonna Google that.
Go right ahead. NCC 1305 -E. It's the Yamato, our sister ship.
Yep. It's both 1305-E or 71807.
Should be 71807, but again, they're holding that prefix thing or suffix thing, I guess. Yeah, Riker says NCC 1305-E. Yes, he does.
Ah.
And Jeff, we already got a PayPal from Ian. Is that the same one?
Huh.
Did he send more than one?
Well, it can take a while sometimes, don't worry.
Yeah, but we read that one already. If it's that one, so.
And this is really fun, seeing the other ship.
Oh yeah.
I mean, really, it's so TOS. It should have been, well, I mean, obviously we set. It would have been nice if it was a Miranda. As like a callback to. No, it'd be a callback to be the Nebula. I mean,
I'm glad that it wasn't one of the older ships. I'm glad that it was like one of the new ones. Even Wesley's like, the Yamato isn't even anywhere near here. So
I just mean that it just feels like a TOS trick of, look, we just used a different bit of footage and flipped it, which they did, and it's not a bad thing. And I think the bridge stuff is really excellent. Although, you know, they very carefully didn't show any registries.
Yeah, well, yeah. It does look beautiful.
Yeah, and to see well, 3 of our bridge crew looking at what is the Enterprise model in the same screen for real is nice, because they're on the Enterprise, they can't even see the Enterprise, so that was quite nice. And I like their lack of comprehension of the situation. They're living one confusing thing at a time, because this doesn't make any sense. But they're just like, well, next. Yep, we're professionals. Next. Yeah. It's confusing. It's weird. And then Riker and then they go back to the back of the bridge, and Riker's like, "Are you okay, sir?" He's like, "I don't know what to think. I don't know. I'm not thinking. I'm just doing. I don't know. I don't know. I have nothing to say." It's like, okay.
But sensors indicate engineering, life, life support. Everything's working, but there are no life signs.
Yes.
So let's make an away team. Maybe we can find something aboard that can help figure out what's happened. And so Riker grabs Worf, and then right before they beam over, Worf's like, "I am acquainted with the Yamato, sir. I recommend the aft section of their bridge." You know what, Worf? I think I'm familiar with the ship as well. It's kind of similar to the Galaxy class, the Enterprise that we're on. So,
Worf, are you saying you spend more time on the bridge than I do? Hey, I do all my shifts. Okay, Jesus, Worf. Yeah. No dig. Yeah, that was dumb. That was they didn't know they were going to use the sets or something, because that's not it's not a making sense statement.
Yeah. Well, he says, "When in doubt, surprise them, sir." It's like, oh Jesus.
Oh,
we already Picard and I did that with the binars last season.
Wolf did it already. Did it once before.
But and I love how Riker's like, "Them? Who's them? Whoever may be there, sir." Okay.
Hey, you can't argue he's a decent security officer.
Yeah.
Like he is proactive. He's on away missions. He's everything Tasha was not.
True enough.
But yeah, that really stuck out to me as well. And O'Brien's back 2 times in 2 episodes, and he gets some lines. Good for him.
Yeah. I do like the recurringness of the character.
Yes. Although character's a bit of a stretch at this point.
Yeah.
And so they beam on the bridge, which happens to be in the middle of the ship. And a corridor. Weird.
And I love how he beams in and he's like, "This isn't the bridge." It's like, thanks, Riker. Thanks, man. I know it's only season 2, but I think we might have known that.
This episode does suffer from the characters don't get it quick enough disease problem. They are all a bit too dumb. Now, I know they're smart with their plans, but in the sense that they don't know what's going on, even though there are some, they don't necessarily ask the right questions sometimes. But it's a mini horror film. It's a horror sci-fi build. It's that vibe.
Yeah.
Speaking of, he walks around and he hears a scream, and cut to a weird bit of the weird bit, the set, which is, I guess, a holodeck room. I don't know which bit this is.
What's it? Riker's walking through?
No, that Worf runs through. Because it's a main corridor piece with a...
That's the holodeck they've used for like a big goodbye and stuff, because that's the simple wall, and then
Yeah.
But yeah, later it gets moved to a different. Well, there's different holodecks on the ship, obviously, but yeah,
Yes.
that's the area.
I mean, the fact the carpet is there and then stops.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's the end of the set, and they just put those pieces there. It just stands out because we know the set's got well, and those are not correct. I love the idea that Walker comes in. I heard you scream. He's doing good. And Riker's like,
heard you scream.
I love the acting though. It's good. It's fun.
And Eugene throws in 1,000 rubles.
Eugene!
I'm always mixing this episode with another one. Is this the one with the micro black holes, or the one with the red shirt meme guy? I guess the latter. Yeah, this is the guy. Yeah, Lieutenant Hackett, I think is his name.
Yeah, you do say his name.
Yeah, I have it written down later when it's relevant, but.
Yeah.
And Joseph puts in $2 Australian. O'Brien must suffer. That's not very nice. I like O'Brien.
How can you not? And 164 people. Wow, this is well attended. I guess we'll like season 2 more. / you enjoy a drunk live stream. We do appreciate. Thanks for joining in. Hope you guys enjoy.
Everybody like.
Yeah, seriously. But yeah, communications are not going well.
Yep, communications stop. They lose transporter lock on.
Yep.
And then he's using his tricorder. Thank God. This isn't a Federation ship. These walls aren't tritanium. Similar, but it's too advanced. We wouldn't be able to make this with our current technology, which is interesting.
Yeah.
If it was Tasha, she'd just like look at the wall and go,
No,
"This isn't tritanium."
Doesn't taste like titanium.
Sorry, don't want to make fun of Tasha too much, but
it's a very odd beat because it adds more confusion. Because I guess, are we saying that Nagilum actually physically created this?
Yeah, it's never answered. It's never explained how this is created. Because it's not like in their minds at that point, unless he's messing with them totally. And
I mean, they could still be on the pad and no one sees them. I mean, there are ways of doing that, but it's a very tangible, non-tangible thing. And just to say I can scan it and it's different, that's weird. Although I like the idea that he just build a Galaxy class. That's really cool, actually. Just like whole cloth.
Yeah. And then Worf touches the panel. Computer on. It's like nothing happens. Let's get to the bridge. So.
And then Wesley is replaced by a random black red shirt. And I was like, oh yeah, I remember that guy. Wasn't he like froze by Q in Farpoint? Is that the same guy?
It's not the same guy.
Looks similar. But also he's meme guy. I'm like, that's weird. Why is Wesley not there? He's been in the entire episode, and he comes back at the end.
He's studying right now.
Yeah, that was the end of his shift. Oh, wow. That was not contrived at all, was it?
No.
Whatever.
Anyway, the power on the Enterprise goes down, and Geordi starts yelling and says, "I got to go to engineering."
Yeah.
But anyway, then they find out the walls are titanium. Sorry, I was a little out of sync there.
Question to you, though. Now I've got a really good shot of Picard. What do you think of Picard in this episode, how he's acting? Because last week I felt he was off character. What do you think in this one?
This one he's spot on. I think he's acting as Picard should. Yeah. The last couple episodes have been kind of iffy with his command style, but yeah, I think this one's good. Yeah,
I definitely agree. He's in his science brain right now. He's a bit too considered, but yeah, I'd think he's definitely being Picard, just maybe having an indecisive day a little bit. Yeah, but I agree. I didn't think he was that characterful as Picard. There's a few little moments, but this is a plot over character episode.
Yeah. Well, later the conversation he has in his quarters with. That's spot on Picard right there.
We'll get there, but yeah, it's a good call out.
But anyway, Worf and Riker decide they need to go to the bridge, so they head for turbolift. Turbolift door opens, and they're on the bridge. And Riker is like, This bridge should be 4 decks above us.
No shit. They are so slow. I mean, they don't even get it by the end. They don't even get it. There's a lack of brain
I do love
power.
the camera angle though, where you can see the corridor behind them.
Yeah.
Instead of using a different one where they didn't have to do that, and then later you see the bridge behind them. I mean, it's really well done. So
that's how simple, gentle green screen is done well. You know, it's just a little backplate, easy, and it's so effective, and you don't even notice it, in a sense. And it is good mind effery, and you do get this with. No, this is it's fun mind effery. It's just they are very slow and indecisive, and he's the second in command of the ship, and this is Worf, head of security. Yet neither of them act their parts beyond the intrigued scientist. Neither intrigued scientists today. They shouldn't be. So they can act out of character. At least they have fundamental roles.
I love their conversation. Another bridge? Well, if we step through that door, where will we be? We'll be on the bridge. But this is the bridge. It's like
it's good. It's fun to listen to. It's just like, I mean, you know, sir, that there's a turbolift there, not a corridor. So therefore, this is all wrong.
What? There's supposed to be a turbolift there. Oh man.
I don't know the Yamato made such radical changes, like a whole corridor on the bridge level. Wow, I didn't see that in the schematic. Worf's like, oh no, yeah, Riker would say to him, Worf, I thought you knew the schematics. Tell me about this corridor, Worf. You know all about the Yamato. That'd be funny.
Yeah, but this is good going between the bridges, and just the conversation they have is really, really well done. But we're back on the Enterprise.
So Ryan K says maybe they didn't have their coffee that morning. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Back on the Enterprise, they still don't have any power. The panels are out, and all of a sudden power comes back on, and there is. They have a star fix. There's an opening now.
Yes. What magic timing, Stuart?
Yes, exactly. But Picard says, "Hold this position. We need to get the people back." And I'd be like this. The guy at helm, I'd be like, "But it's right there. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the two."
Oh boy, we'll get into that later.
Or the Worf. But yeah. So he has a conversation. Oh no, they're still on the bridge of the bridges.
Quick note: when we cut to Geordi Data and Random Guy with the consoles out, it annoys me to no end that they're just looking straight forward. Data is incredibly smart, incredibly talented, proactive man. He's not helping to solve any situation by sitting there doing nothing. He would instantly say, "Sir, can I go to the engineering and help fix it?" Like, your place is not just to sit here doing nothing. It's stupid. I hate it. It's because the plot needs him to not do anything. He's not important to the scene. He should be doing something. He's Data. He's very good at what he does. Do you know what I mean?
I'm going to disagree with you there. He is a bridge crew. He's in operations right now. It's only been like a minute or two. Geordi is down in engineering. If Geordi needs him, he'll call him. His place right now, that's his station. That's where he is. Unless he offers a suggestion to go down and Picard turns him down or agrees, he's not. He's going to stay at his post.
It just feels weird that no one's trying to help the situation. Everyone's like,
what are they going to do? They don't know the problem.
But exactly, Data knows lots of things. I mean, that's the point. But when he plot needs to fix it, I do agree in that sentiment. I just think it looks daft to have literally not do anything. It just feels, they're not trying to fix their consoles, or I don't know.
I disagree.
That's fair.
Because we don't know how much time has passed. Not a lot, I don't think. I think the power went down. We see the Riker and Worf thing, but it's only been like not even a minute yet, kind of thing.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah,
so he opens the turbolift door to the battle bridge, and then sees Riker, and then walks through, and then comes up behind Riker, and this is where he kind of has a little bit of a hissy fit. He's like, "One bridge, one Riker."
I'm not a merry man.
Tries to force open the door, and you can see quite clearly that it's painted wood. People give TOS shit for that, and when you paint wood, it still looks like wood, no matter when it's made.
Yeah, it's a daft scene, and Worf is not given enough reason to be like this. it does feel out of place, and he does feel like a barbarian, where he
Well,
really isn't.
I was gonna say he's scared, and he's panicky a little bit right now. That's the vibe I got.
I can see it, but I didn't think that was clear enough.
It
But
might not
again,
have been.
but he also is a warrior, so the fear is going to come through in a very specific way. So I do understand. I just think they could have played it slightly more nuanced.
Well, he's used to something that he can fight, something he can make sense
Or
of.
be
This
shot
makes
down.
this makes no sense. Yeah, this makes no sense to him. So
Yeah.
back aboard the Enterprise though, and what's going on here? Why don't I have?
Just oh no, it's the thing's closing, and they say let's go get it, and then I like Picard's. No, we're gonna stay.
And then it closes, and then they get a transporter lock. They beam them aboard. There's a bit of a hesitation in the transport.
But the ship's disappearing. Ah.
And Riker comes on board, and he's very agitated. He's like, "What is going on here? Let's use all this technology and figure a way out of here." It's like, well,
Yeah, I think this is the first time I'm gonna say this. They needed to have more musical cues to add the creepy tension to tell us that Riker feels like this, because he comes on the bridge and he feels almost insubordinate, like a smidge, an absolute smidge. And I know it's creepy what he went through, but it's not enough for him to snap. If it's been 5 to 10 minutes, it doesn't feel like enough to me. Whereas if the music had been more creepy and more like he's losing his shit, this is pushing him, but it was also calm, and because it just feels like I'm just walking around, and then he comes like, fuck's sake, what is going? It's like, I can't, Jesus, it doesn't quite connect for me. What do you think, or do you buy it completely?
I buy his frustration. I think it's a little overboard, but
Yeah,
I don't think it's near insubordination.
No,
he's just frustrated with the situation.
I just meant he's not talking like second in command in this moment, so therefore he's that is all I mean, not insubordination, but off chain of command. Well, absolutely.
Considering what they've been through and how that would mess with your mind, I'd be kind of like like that as well. I think I'd be like, let's just get out of here. We got all this technology. Let's use it.
But it wasn't like that scary. It was just a bit weird. Like he wasn't stuck on that ship for like a day, and you know what I mean. The build wasn't quite there. Although I absolutely love Patrick Stewart's weird like, he lost his shit. This is cool. What is that face? Why was he smirking? Smirking? I just found like it's like, oh, number one, you're such a funny man, aren't you? This is a weird direction choice.
But anyway, some more rifts open up, and they go to move towards them, and then they close, and another one opens up, and then all of a sudden Picard's like, we're just gonna sit here. We're not gonna play this game. And he talks to Deanna, and she says she's sensing some sort of intelligence. It's like rats in a maze, says Pulaski. Explain yourself, Doctor. It's like, they don't know how rats in a maze means? All right, well, we're in a laboratory experiment. They're testing our responses to stimuli. How more can want me to draw it out for you? I mean,
sometimes you have to tell the audience really hard. But Tenzingari has a tremendous comment, and it makes so much sense. And if you have good arguments, it's all that matters, really. He says, maybe Nagilum influenced Worf and Riker during the stay on the Yamato to induce certain moods or suppress their mental workings. Mwah! Perfect.
Considering their test subjects, different stimuli. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't think innately them being there makes sense, or him just pissing them off by doing whatever. But yeah, that would connect to those two personalities. They push Worf to go too far, and pushing Riker to be unlike him. That's brilliant. I love it. It's all fun testing. Or they knew Nagilum knew exactly what button to push, like having them, because they're both quite. They felt they were in control. Riker and Worf, like being in control of the situation, and so to lose that in such a drastic way, that might have connected them both more than other people. That's why they broke down more, because it does affect them. But really, really good comment. This episode's very packed. I wish they'd put a few more like top tier things like that in. That'd been kind of cool. But
So after he talks to Deanna, all of a sudden, Nagilum's face shows up, and sensors show nothing out there. And you get Geordi, sure as a damn ugly nothing.
Geordi, come on, man. What are you doing? He's got the shit by the
First
balls.
contact depends on this. You just made a bad first impression.
You ugly mother. I'm sorry. But,
Wrong franchise, but that's okay.
How does this face look to you? What do you think?
Oh, it's creepy as hell. I don't know. It has cat-like features with like the no nose kind of thing. And I was wondering who this was. I didn't look up who the actor was, but it could have been anybody. And the mouth is kind of weird the way it moves. So very well done. Very distorted, cool face.
I think this is iconic. I think what this is a 2D image of a face with only the mouth moving.
Mm-hmm. Well, the eyes move though.
Do they though?
They do. They do.
Oh, okay.
Quite a bit.
I think the face is actually a digital, and they just like put in the other pieces. Because the mouth doesn't really connect with it. I don't think it's just literally a guy they put on blue screen or something. I think it's actually a cool like distorted thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's fun how everything is so immediate in this episode. You know, the disturbance will get all. Oh no, it's gone out. And Nagilum, as soon as they say we're not going to do this, Nagilum's like, "Hello, don't say that, Picard. It's been 1 second. Don't change your mind." But it's he wants feedback. But I like this instant reveal.
Yeah.
It's good. I mean, it's so TOS though. I mean, it's textbook TOS.
Yeah. And he reveals his name as Nagilum. And then he starts going through the people on the bridge. He's like, Lieutenant Haskell, that's the guy's name. Talks about Data.
Data? No, sir. My name is Data. What is the difference?
One is my name. The other is not. Bitch. But then he goes, what are you? Your construction also differs. And throws Pulaski against the wall.
And so
Shame.
all I could think about in that moment was Troy was closer.
Yep. And she's even Beta Z, so she'd be a little bit more different.
Troy's next to literally all the dudes you just talked about.
Yeah.
What? That was weird. And her acting wasn't good. Like, I'm going to go against a wall. It was a bit comical.
A bit.
But I guess give her a line. Yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah. But then we talk about the masculine and feminine. Mm-hmm. It's how we propagate our species. Well, please demonstrate how that happens.
I'm interested.
I love her response. Not likely.
Yeah.
It's a good one on Pulaski there. And then it gets into the whole discussion of, is it true that you also have a limited existence? And Picard's like, I don't understand quite what you mean. I don't understand the question. Death. This is interesting to me. Mm-hmm. And then he does meme guy. Which, shame Wesley was doing his studies.
I know. What the luckiest man on all Trek. And considering what this is, I think his acting is actually really good because it is a weird death.
His acting is phenomenal. And even how he curls up in the fetal position and like.
Yeah.
Problem is though, after she scans him, and you hear the tricord, and he dies. And then they talk for a minute, and then they focus back on him, and you can see his nostrils moving still. But that's okay.
It's residual, residual air from the passageways. It's fine.
Yeah. And Picard's like, we can't allow you to do that.
Yeah.
To understand death, I must amass data on it.
Yep.
Well, every kind of dying. The experiment shouldn't take more than a third of your crew. Maybe half.
Maybe half. Conservative there, so don't cover my bases.
Yeah. I got some kinky shit I want to try too. So,
how many anal beads can a human take in the esophagus? It's like what? Nagilum, stop, please, man, stop. Now I just realized this that his concern for the officer is very minimal who died, but it goes from being alive to dead in like 2.5 seconds. So you can't do anything. And the fact is he's in the crew's about to whatever. So. I can get why he's too focused, but he's such a red shirt.
Yeah, thank God it was nobody we care about, guys. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, and then this interests me because the next scene is in the conference room. How did that situation on the bridge end? This is the stuff you don't see on screen, but I'm curious about. Did Nagilum just say, "See you later," and fade away, and everybody's like, "Ah, shit. Let's go talk about this somewhere where nobody else can hear."
Somewhere we can sit down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, everybody can sit on the bridge except for Worf.
See, everyone.
I don't know. It's just a weird transition. Anyway, we're in the conference room because we got to use the set because why not? But we mean nothing to it. And I love how Worf's like, in a battle, 30 to 50% casualties, and she just stomps on him, would be appalling. And Worf's like, well, it is acceptable losses, but this isn't a battle, you know. So I love that exchange. Again, that's a point for Pulaski, in my opinion. I'm not always bashing Pulaski, guys.
Yeah. But and again, Worf gets to be short with his thought process because he's going through a time, you know. But that's interesting because he's still coming out at heart. So if that's the psyche of if a Klingon ship gets attacked, you can use up to 50% of its crew is fine in any given encounter. Okay then. Good to know.
Well, for a major offensive, that's acceptable losses.
As long as you win,
in most military campaigns, yes, 30 to 50%. It's like psst.
Jeez. Yeah.
I love how, again, this is very Picard. So this is spot on Picard here. The only decision, I only have one decision. I will not stand by while half my crew is slaughtered. I can destroy the Enterprise. It's like, okay. And Pulaski, again, right on point and putting Picard in check. Isn't that like curing the disease by killing the patient? A little bit of overkill. And then she follows it up with a zinger. Why do I get the feeling this was not a good time to join this ship?
No, that's a character line. That's an ideal character line.
And that's a McCoy line as well.
It is. Although I think she might have delivered it better, almost.
Yeah, I think so.
Hers was softer. And then they basically self-destruct. But I have a problem here.
I knew you would.
Yeah. His responsibility is to keep all these 1,000 people alive, including women, children, and puppies.
Puppies. Who's thinking about the puppies?
No one. I mean, how are you're gonna kill the entire crew to save half the crew? There isn't logic there. It's his job to keep everyone alive. 50% loss, you're keeping now. Then the counter being, Nagilum might change his mind, but it's your responsibility to save these people, not actively kill them all. Now, I will jump to the end because it sounds dark in the episode, and the episode doesn't do this, and I gotta add inference, otherwise it sort of breaks down a little bit. I've got to assume that he's actually thinking, Johnny Picard is thinking, Nagilum would rather we don't die because he's not doing this out of aggression, negativity. It's an experiment. Why waste life? So he would rather let us go than see us be destroyed. So I'm going to bluff my way out, just not tell anyone because maybe he can read minds. So he's actually thinking he's got a plan. And then I was hoping at the end, after the Nagilum scene, he would then go to, like, Riker would come in and say, that was close. He's like, I knew he wouldn't do it. I knew that moment. But no, it's played that he is going to murder everyone so that half of them don't get killed. And it's like, the fuck is wrong with you? You don't do that. I'm sorry. You save the half you can save. You don't.
Yeah, it almost feels like a pride thing. I'm not going to let him have my ship and kill half my crew while I stand by.
If you ask the crew, I'm sure half of them wouldn't say yes, murder me. It's not a win situation. It's a no-win. But saying I'm going to kill everyone so half of them don't get killed, there's a flaw in logic there. Fundamental flaw in logic. I think they would have something to say about that, your crew. If you asked them, the 6-year-old who's in a nursery saying, "Daddy, why are we going to get killed?" "Oh, because someone might die." It's like, oh, okay.
Well, you wouldn't.
No, I know. But I think he's going against his oath here. And yes, 500 people might die in agony, but his responsibility is to living people. Like I say, that's why I really hope he was actually playing a bluff, that he had that hunch. So he doesn't play that way, though, unfortunately. And I wish there was a moment where it did. And what does the chat think?
AC Castilla's got a point, but there is no way out. There is no assurance that Nagilum would let any of them live.
But there's no assuming that he's not going to let them live. All of these episodes in TOS, TNG, DS9, they face unbelievable odds. As soon as you see a ball cube that kills a fleet, Picard didn't say, "Okay, yeah, that's a good example." Picard doesn't walk, all 359, all of our ships got killed. Nah, we're gonna die too. I'll just blow up the ship now. No, they deal with the situation. They risk things. Every other episode, they try and survive to survive. This is just a give up.
But they have so many options in that case. They can warp away. They can impulse away. They can get away. They're not stuck in a void of nothingness where they're...
Now they know Nagilum exists. They haven't tried to negotiate. They haven't tried to think it through. They haven't tried anything. It goes straight from, oh no, equals death. I just think it's a plot reason. It's not a real character reason. I understand, yes, they could die, but you're sacrificing everyone for the sake of half of them.
And Asika still says Worf was going to ram the friggin' cube.
Yeah.
So, we got 2 super chats. David Bessick, $4.99. What was the real world reason Crusher wasn't in season 2? Pay dispute. Yeah, it was a dispute with the producers or something. I forget exactly, but
so even though I think Crusher got some most to do in season 1, Gates wanted more to do, and she bugged them throughout the season, which I don't think is a fair way of saying it, but they felt that because she was getting quite a lot anyway. And then they also didn't think they couldn't do that many cast members, and she wasn't. It was either Troy or Crusher, because executives were saying we need to lose one of the women. They're not working, which is ironic. Then they killed the other one as well, and they had to keep one. And then Crusher resigned. Stash was very like fired and resigned sort of thing. But it's just producers and such. But it was bad on everyone. I mean,
it was a bad blood kind of situation.
Yeah. Yeah,
but they make up for it later, so...
Yeah, I mean, they brought her back.
Yeah. Eugene, though, throws in 250 rubles because line must be drawn here and no further. Anyway, yeah, so...
But you know what I'm saying, don't you?
Yeah, but I can also see the hopelessness of the situation, and...
I just think in any other Trek episode they'd try, but because of the plot, we know they can't, therefore they'll just let them, But anyway,
Castillo says, "Oh my God, the Survivor's Goat would be incredible."
I mean, but that would be for any war, for any whatever. I mean,
it's not a war though. It's just.
No, I'm saying human war. I don't know.
It's just a lab experiment. It's pointless, essentially.
Yeah, exactly. So you shouldn't feel guilt because it's just like it's random. It's like the snap. It's random. It's not like it's. They shouldn't feel guilty for being left behind. They should feel sad for the ones they left. In-game spoilers.
Not how the human body works, though, or the human mind works. Sorry.
Well, some people, But anyway, everyone's different. Anyway, they season 1 self-destruct, which is nice to see. Continually, they abandoned that I think in the next season, but yeah, season 1 again, which is nice.
I love the conversation they have though. What would be better for the crew? Do it quickly or give them time to prepare?
Yep.
Probably quickly would have been better. Just boom, nobody knew, everybody dead.
Yep.
But Riker's like 20 minutes. Yeah, that's a nice round figure. All right. Cool.
The acting in that scene is so good. The pauses they take. Because because they actually think they're going to die. So yeah, why not do it in like 12 seconds? I mean, don't get on trying to think, Or would you put on random? So you don't know. Is it worth? I've got 7 seconds to death, 4 seconds to death. Like, is that worse, or is it worse to be like die randomly? As I was thinking during it.
That's a random setting for auto destruct. I love that. Computer, auto destruct, just random. It could be in 5 months. Who cares?
Captain, please clarify random. No, random. And then 1 second it explodes. 1 second. You said random, sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good scene.
Oh my goodness. All right. Anyway, so Picard is in his quarters, of course,
Yeah.
listening to music.
And what sort of character thing does that say? He's got 20 minutes left to live. He sits down, listens to music. How nice is that?
Do something you enjoy for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's really like this is a dark set of scenes when you think about it.
I just want to know if they made a ship-wide announcement or not, or if just the bridge crew knows what's going on.
Oh, I know.
Because would you want to create panic of sorts, especially with the families, or would you just want to have them not know?
That's why it's so random. Yeah, exactly. I mean, can you imagine the PTSD of the kids? You know, and how many people are just having sex right now? If you did an announcement.
It's funny you said that because I thought the exact same thing. I'm like, somebody on the ship's probably having a first date or like a third date, and they're like getting to home base. You know, it's
Skipping
like,
to home run, yeah.
Yeah.
Or it's the first kiss. Like, oh no, come in. Can you imagine that on the doorstep? I had a great night. Me too. This is the captain speaking. We're gonna blow him in 20 minutes. They lock eyes. They're like, right, get in here. It's just...
You don't want to die a virgin, do you? Hey, it's perfect. Perfect line. It was used in Independence Day.
You can rom-com this scene so well, yeah. But it's actually kind of beautiful, and the music's nice, and the way it's acted. Yeah, this scene is artistry, legitimate artistry. I think anyway.
Yeah, and it's such a Picard moment, really. This whole scene, everything in here is a Picard, spot on Picard.
But spell it out for us so we know.
The whole scene?
Oh, we haven't talked about it yet.
Yeah. Well, Troy comes in and says, our killing ourselves won't change his mind. And Picard's like, well, you didn't say you were that certain. Mm-hmm. Well, I was wrong for not telling you. Go have a seat.
Yeah.
And then the Data comes in. And what is death? And I got to admit, this speech from Picard is good, the way he dealt with this. Like he's speaking to a kid almost, but an intelligent kid that can understand.
Yeah, good summary.
That's the hardest of all questions. Some believe that we'll make us indestructible and live eternally in a garden, like whatever, for forever. Others believe we just blink into nothingness. All of our hopes, our aspirations, our dreams, all a delusion. And Data asks him what he believes. Well, I believe because of the complexity of the universe, with its balances and checks and gravity and matter and all of the various dimensions, that it's much more complex, essentially. I didn't write it down verbatim, but...
No,
And it's a great answer.
Yeah.
But then Troy's like, we should not allow ourselves... allow ourselves... Yeah, it's wrong, Jean-Luc, yeah. And even Data pipes up, yes, it's wrong, Jean-Luc. And you can see the little hint in his eye. It's like, oh, this is wrong. All of it. You shouldn't be acting this way. Or neither of you should be acting in this way. I love the way he says it. But, yeah, because it is wrong for you to decide for us. So, I guess he's just used to people blindly following his self-destruct orders.
Yeah, well, I mean, thing is that that's the joke. He's the one in charge, so if they say we don't agree, it's like, okay, leave.
Well, as Kirk would say, that's one of the great things about being captain. You know, you can get all the advice and not necessarily have to take any of it. I forget the exact quote, but that's a great quote.
This is another interesting thing that Nagilum can create relatively good facades beyond their lack of acting. I like how they're not playing the character, they're just saying lines. It's a specific choice, because you kind of buy Troy's first bit, although it's also obvious but you buy it. But we've seen it before, so who's to say? But they are still interestingly performed. But this does show that illusions.
Yeah, because at first I was wondering if they were just being controlled by Nagilum, but then he says, computer, where's Commander Data? Commander Data is on the bridge. So...
But this is why I wonder, why isn't Nagilum actively changing information coming through?
I don't think he has. Maybe he doesn't have the capability.
Yeah.
The Enterprise is stuck in a nothing void, so it can't go anywhere. But he doesn't have control over that. Because I thought the whole time, well, he'll just deactivate the auto destruct. You know, or make somebody else do it. Convince somebody else to turn off the auto destruct. Not that they could, but. But anyway, they get the bridge contacts him and says, we are out of the void. We can abort the auto destruct. And then we're back on the bridge. Anyway, great scene, very Picard-like.
I am surprised he's relatively not spiritual, but he thinks there's more. I was kind of surprised by that, but he's so eloquent. You know, yeah, just beautifully scripted.
Jarzia puts in $5. Thank you very much. At least Picard needs a second person. Janeway can up and blow up her ship and crew anytime she wants, and nobody else gets a say. Well, I'm sure he can too if the situation came down to it, but
yeah, that is true. If everyone's dead and he's the only one alive, and he can't do self-destruct, that's a bit of a flaw, isn't it?
Yeah.
And guys, we're almost to the end of the review, so please do super chat. 150 people watching, 130 likes. Click like if you want. Yeah.
So he comes up to the bridge and he says, "Warp 6, any heading now?" Yep. And I gotta ask you what you think about this warp out scene, because I want to hear what your thoughts on the lighting of the Enterprise.
Well, it's a reuse from a previous, obviously from season 1, but they've just flipped it, which is why the registry is the wrong way around. I mean, it's too purple, but it's okay.
Oh, it's not too bright and white. It just looks kind of odd. Like
yeah,
there's a sun or something like right there.
What do you mean?
It's just so bright. It looks white. It doesn't look like the typical color of the Enterprise D.
No, it's fine. You can have that sort of high-end spec. It's fine.
Oh, I thought you'd be all...
Not for that bit. No, it makes sense where the light area is from, because it's really being lit from something. So there's active directional that would make sense with, because it's actually being lit. I just thought... I just found it amusing that they actually did show a warp out, because this is what I said. They weren't using warp in Nagilum because they weren't doing warp bubble. Like, there was not warp happening. This is actually warp happening. Like, because they have to do a warp jump, but they can't just go, you know. But yeah, and then you get this really interesting extended scene where they count down the clock and everyone's invested. But do you notice that no one panics? Only Riker to the last second, and that's very, very unlow-key. Like, everyone is ready to die. Even Wesley, who is bloody young, bloody inexperienced. The professionalism of this crew is mind-boggling, because they are about to die in less than 10 seconds.
Well, they trust it's for the right reasons, I guess. You should gotta trust your captain, right? So.
And my dad did say when watching this one, he said, compared to the Discovery crew, and they're yelling, they're running, they're screaming, you know, there's nothing there for that. I mean, you can say it's more action-packed, but this is like professional. This is more tense because they're all accepting it. This is more tense, and it's really, I don't remember this being in the episode, him literally waiting until the last possible second. Yeah. I would have assumed that Nagilum could just have not let them do the self-destruct. He was just feeding wrong information to them. Like, that is more obvious to me than letting them use the computers properly, but we never get a sense he can change the computers, so that's fine. But it's a well-played, interesting scene, and they're like, okay, phew. Well,
yeah. And it's got some lightheartedness to it, and it's also got some character development, because we get, does the first officer agree? Concur. Yes, I do. I agree. Indeed. Most heartedly.
Beautiful.
Most wholeheartedly.
Beautiful.
And Picard's like, a simple yes would have sufficed, everyone.
Beautiful.
I didn't want there to be any misunderstanding. Now, I don't know about you, but the thing that I thought at that time was, if you put in too much information into Google, you get weirdest results. Yeah. Simple is better.
Well,
so the computer's like, what? What?
I have a secondary question, right?
Yeah. If
the captain is saying deactivate self-destruct, does the countdown pause? Because if you've only got 2 seconds, I don't think the seconds lined up.
I would assume.
Like Riker said, way too much in the amount of time left. So he must have paused, surely.
I would assume there's a brief pause. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's a brilliant Riker moment.
And then he sure held that bluff to the last second, didn't he, sir? And Riker's like, was he bluffing? Because honestly, I don't even know. That was great. And then Data's reaction, the look on Data's face, like, yeah.
Shit, son.
Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, just the acting is real solid. And then Nagilum says, hey. In the most, like, legit, you'd communicate via that way. Like, he's being very respectful. He's just going to chat via the comm panel, in a sense, because you can do that. I like that. It's kind of cute.
Um, yeah, Picard's like, why'd you let us go? You could have saw how we faced death.
Mm-hmm.
And Gillen's like, it wasn't necessary. I've learned all I needed to know. You find no comfort in anything. You are rash, quick to judge, and slow to change.
Hmm.
It's amazing you have survived this long. As a species, we have no common ground. You are too aggressive, too hostile, and too militant. He actually used the word militant, which I was thinking Gene Roddenberry has, you know, we're supposed to be beyond that by this point, which we are. But it's the whole shaming of everybody that, yes, even though you've progressed so far, you're still too aggressive. And that's been pointed out a few times in Star Trek. Even though we feel like we're enlightened and we're better and all that, we're still not there yet. So, and Picard says, well, you too have been observed during this time.
Mm-hmm.
We have curiosity in common.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And Nagilum's like, actually, you're right. Perhaps we'll meet again. And Picard's like, yeah, but next time it will be out here among the stars. Well, how are you going to guarantee that, Picard?
No,
Next time Q shows up, he's going to be like, hey, Q, we ran into this Nagilum.
Yes.
Let's go mess with him.
Can you make him our bitch? Ooh, Picard, you cheeky so-and-so. And he just appears in a little bottle. And I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my god, Picard, what did you do?
Just imagine Nagilum's face in a bottle on a shelf.
That's why I said
like,
a bottle.
Pushed up against the side.
Yep, that's what I was going for. Or like a little mirror or a pad. This is an interesting scene. I don't think I agree with Nagilum's assessment of Picard. It feels incredibly harsh.
Mm-hmm.
Like selfish and stuff. Like he wasn't being selfish. I hate when people just throw things out that clearly don't. Like I'm assuming he means you as a species.
Yes, I think he did.
It doesn't come across that way properly.
It did to me though.
Okay, that's fair.
I didn't think it was focused at Picard. I thought it was this. Yeah.
Yeah, it just feels so specific. Like there's a lot of criteria, and it's like, and I like how Nagilum's like, do you want to know what I learned? And Picard's like, basically no. Yeah, you do. It's just nice. And again, I'm surprised they didn't play the classic card of, but are they really still there? But there's none of that, which I was kind of surprised about.
Yep, I was expecting that too. Personally, if I was Nagilum, I would have let them go. As soon as they deactivated the thing, I would have like sucked them right back in. Ha ha.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I think he has less control than we think.
That's what I mean. It wrapped up rather quickly. I think somebody with Nagilum's kind of cruel mentality, or at least observing them, would have messed with them a little bit more. But it was a lot to fit into an hour.
I don't want to say cruel. I don't think it's cruel. It's just sciencey. It's just I think you'd call it detached. You know, I want to learn. You're ants to me or mice to me. I can kill an mice. Doesn't matter. There's 1,000 more mice. And this I was really hoping at the end Picard would say, I had a feeling he would let us go before he let us die. And he didn't. Real Mr. Trek for me. Lets it down a bit.
Well, that conversation happens off screen.
Therefore doesn't get to be in the episode rating of quality. So kind of same with the obviously deleted scene of Worf like addressing what the hell's wrong up with him. Like this episode feels like a season opener. First of all, better season opener, and B, as if this was like an Orville season, where it's actually an arc, because this one sets up Worf as a character arc, life and death stakes for the crew, where they can PTSD a little bit, and Picard being less. Like, this would have been a nice like jumping off point. You know, maybe Wesley saying, "I could have died if I hadn't gone to the shitter. I would be dead." You know, you could legitimately have some nice like character build. They don't, but this felt like, ooh.
We should have like a chalk outline on the guy like fetal position.
Oh god. Oh, that's not. Oh. But yeah, and so ends this quickly round up episode. But boy, they fit a lot in. We had a battle with the Deredex. We had an entire investigation of a galaxy class. We had mind effery. We had a battle with 2 aliens on a holodeck. We had
bigotry from Pulaski.
Yeah, very important. We had a dude dying. We had several really good speeches. We had self-destruct and moral questions. We had what is faith and where is afterlife, and a lot packed in. Very dense.
When you sum it up like that, absolutely. Yeah.
And yet, it's dense, but it's incredibly slowly paced on purpose. For build.
I think it works though. It builds tension. It builds. At least it did for me.
See, tension is right, but there isn't that tension release at the end. It's too abrupt. It
Yeah.
doesn't achieve the it doesn't achieve the climax of the session. Anticlimactic. There you go. Anticlimactic. But it doesn't. It's not quite. It's like a 0.5 off where it needs to be for its true potential. Not far, for me. Not far. As in, just for the story to really be complete. It's just missing a little bit. Yeah. Okay. So Stuart, do you want to give your roundup? And I just want to say, 153 people watching, which is the most we've had all video. You guys are still here by the end. That is absolutely incredible. We really appreciate you guys being here with us, celebrating this with us. I'm getting the sense season 2 you guys are going to watch more of. I get the sense from this, which is awesome. We're making the content for you. And now we do the wrap up where we each go through what we think, give our review scores for all of TNG and season 1. Well, I guess now it's season 2. And we'll start with Stuart. What do you think?
Fun episode. This one I love rewatching each time it's on. Nagilum's always been kind of creepy. It's just kind of a weird image. So great character in Nagilum. Great premise for Star Trek. Like I said, it's very sci-fi based. They're in another dimension. There's nothingness. Warp isn't, they pass their own beacon. Really weird stuff is going on, stuff that defies everything that we know, which is great. Yeah,
although
you're right.
I do want to jump in there though. It's never answered where they are, so that could just be an illusion by Nagilum. It's very ambiguous, but well done. Just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you're right. It's dense. It's packed with a lot of stuff. Like we see the Trekyards, we see another Galaxy class, we see probe launches. We see a lot of really cool stuff in this. The auto destruct again.
Oh, you know what? They missed a trick. I just realized. Guinan.
Yeah, I was thinking about Guinan just as you were wrapping up like a minute ago.
Like she should have understood. Like that would have been. I think that should have added too much clarity to the situation. But
Plus, it was way early for her, I think. Because
yes,
she was just in the last episode, and they weren't using her very much at first. They used her more later, for sure.
But can you imagine though, if I'm sorry to barge in, but can you imagine if at the end she walks on the bridge and Nagilum's on the view screen, and he's like, and she's like, "Hello, Nagilum. Hello, Guinan. You know each other. Please let them go." Like power play. That would have been too much, obviously, but that would have been Sorry,
anyway,
continue.
That's okay. Some good character development for Picard. We do get a good sense of Picard in this. I think he's back on point compared to what he was in the last couple episodes. Does things properly, even though he pulls them closer to the thing. But I don't know why you'd want to be right up against something when you have sensors that can scan from far. Really a good piece of Star Trek. This is one that I would show somebody that's not really a fan of Star Trek to kind of get a feel for how weird Star Trek can be while still being cool. There's a lot of episodes you would not show somebody that's not a fan, just because they'd be like, "Oh, I don't want to watch that. It looks like shit." This one, I think, is fun. So I would say that. As for all of season 2 so far, this is definitely gonna get an 8 from me. It's really good. It's a really good piece of Star Trek, in my opinion. As for all of TNG, I'm going to put it probably around let's give it a 6.5.
And I'm going to write this down, just remembered.
Oh, yeah.
8.5, you say? Wait, what? Wait, hold on.
No, an 8 for season 2.
Okay. 8 for season 2.
And a 6.5 for all of TNG.
Okay.
And Cadmus 67 puts in 3 pounds. 3 pounds for 3 out of 10 season 2 episode. 2 out of 10 overall.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's really low. I really like this episode, though.
Can you tell us why? I mean, please do a super chat or non-super chat. Why? We'd love to know. And because you guys can put more information in your in the chat than just the number. We'll read out interesting comments. Please do. And again, guys, this is now the time to put your scores as people are doing. But there's 150 of you watching, which is amazing. Please put your review scores. We'll read them out. Okay, cool. So for me, like I say, I think I remember it being a tighter episode which is why I was surprised this time around. Yeah, I think I'm gonna jump straight to the score. I think 8 is appropriate for this season because it falls down a little bit, but that's every episode. Could be done a bit better. And 8 is a very, very good score, but also it says it's not perfect. I think it's fair. I think that's absolutely fair. All TNG, I'm gonna say a 6, a little bit lower than you, but not by much because, like I said, the pace isn't as good, and there's not a lot of character in this. There's sort of is, but it's not characterful character. Whereas like a season 5, they just exude the character in the lines, so you get more of them. So that's why it's above average, but not like the best thing ever. But for me, it's a good episode for sure. I mean, definitely the best of season 2 so far. It does feel like a season 1 episode, I'll be honest. Just done better. If that makes sense.
Yeah, and like you said earlier, it feels like it should have been the season opener.
Yeah, seriously.
Because, the child would have been better as a season 2, or episode 2 for season 2.
Or episode minus, delete it. No, it's good. It is good. Nagilum is iconic, very well done. Like I say, a few things. It doesn't fall down on much, and it was a fun rewatch to relive it in a different way because I haven't watched these things for years, and in HD with the remasters is really fun. A lot of nice little set things. It's funny when a thing's just good. It's hard to kind of, what I mean. It falls down a few ways, but it's good. Yeah,
and it's a shame we never saw Nagilum again. He would have been a nice recurring character. Show up one more time, for a movie maybe.
The Wrath of Nagilum.
Yes.
Although, question: how would you have felt if Nagilum ended up being a Q?
Not surprised.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe it was Q, and he's just toying with them. He just never revealed it.
Well, that's why I say a Q, because all the Qs have different abilities and a different value system. So he's screwing them in a very different way. Is it better or worse? Is it better to have more uber powerful life forms or less uber powerful life forms, in your opinion?
Less.
Okay. Yeah.
Like a few really strong ones that keep each other in check. Otherwise, they would destroy everything.
Yeah, but I like the fact that it sucks them into its like dimension. I wish they'd science it a little bit more personally, because it's still ambiguous if it was a dimension, but he has like complete control of the dimension, like the Traveler had, But yeah, it's a good episode. I already gave my scores. Just to reiterate, I said I was very similar to you, 8 out of 10 for season 2 and 6 for TNG, which is a 6-point improvement than last week for both of us.
Yeah. Well,
quite a bit.
Jarzia, that's in $2
Hey.
Canadian. 7.5 for season 2, 6.5 for TNG. Good episode, step up from season 1 for sure.
Yeah.
Eugene puts in 500 rubles,
Hey.
8 out of 10 for season 2,
Yep.
7 out of 10 for TNG.
For 2, yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of weird acting though. It's not surprising a lot of TNG parodies show Riker as historical coward and Picard as a creepy pervert. I don't know if I've seen all those, but okay.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen that one.
No.
Don't know if I even want to see that, but okay. But yeah, that's a fair comment for sure. Although I gotta ask, if this was a season 1 episode, what score would you give it at a season 1?
I would still give it a 8. I think it's, for me, it's a really memorable one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think it's a good sci-fi Star Trek premise. So I think it's going to be a high score.
So you would still say the battle and coming of age is better?
Yes.
Oh, and Heart of Glory and Conspiracy. Technically, by 0.5.
Yes. A little bit more better written dialogue, a little bit better pace, probably the other ones.
Yeah. Okay.
But,
yeah.
And this one kind of felt hollow a little bit at the end.
Yeah.
It wasn't as satisfying as those other ones as far as a piece of storytelling. So.
Yeah, I just wanted. I mean, I just like talking about these things anyway, Stuart, as you know. So I just wanted to. Talk.
Yeah, he does this to me all the time, guys, especially when we aren't in the areas. What do you think of this? What do you think of this? Look at this. What do you? It's like,
Hey, I make you think, and you realize you think.
I don't like to think. It hurts my brain.
Speaking of brains, I'll read the non-super chat reviews. Zachary Gibbons scored 4 out of 5 for this episode, which I'm going to convert to an 8 out of 10 because you're being difficult, sir. AC Costello, yes, I really like this episode. I like the pacing because it gives you the viewer time to contemplate the situation and developments. Great point. I would concur completely. Team MRHS, 8 out of 10 for season 2, 7 for TNG. Lance Ripplinger, 5 out of 10 for TNG. Devro, 7 out of 10. Robert Hayes, again, being annoying and difficult, 72%. Okay. Jeff Jacobs, 7.
That's a 7.2 out of 10. It's easy to translate. It's fine.
Jeff Jacobs, 7.5 out of 10. A little frustrating just as far as the situation, like being stuck on stretchy glue. Okay. Brian Kenderson, 6 out of 10. Ron Serena, 6 out of 10. Because no one said shut up Wesley. Devro said yeah, because Whoopi was working for free for the early episodes, so I didn't want to overuse her. Yep. That's fair, that's fair. AC Costello is an 8 out of 10 for season 2.
7 out of 10 from Raj. 9 out of 10 for Dreamer out there. Real 67 Kamunga. 8.75 for season 2. 7.5 for TNG. 98.32697.6.2. You can't have another point. That's not how that works. Out of 10.
And
Damn.
Brian Kenson says we both have steam on our lenses, therefore they're blurry.
No. It's been fixed. Don't even just ignore it.
Oh, okay.
People refreshed their browsers and it fixed it.
Oh. Okay. But yeah, wonderful amount of views today, but we didn't get enough super chats, so if we can somehow get 20 more bucks between people, that would really help us out. Don't often have to say that, but I was kind of keeping track, and if we can raise 20 more bucks we've got 10 minutes left until we end the 2 hours, that'd be great. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it does help. So yeah, 20 bucks if we can. That would be cool. And I'll refresh the thumbnail to Thursday's episode, which is Elementary, My Dear Data. And I hear from a birdie called Stuart Foley that you might like Sherlock Holmes. So how hard are you right now?
Never even heard of this episode. Is it good?
It's Elementary.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing it for the first time.
You actually skipped it for 20 years, yeah.
Yeah. Dan23, I do not like Elementary Dear Data. I do not like Elementary Dear Data and Ham. I don't know.
Yeah, this one I have good memories of because they commit. It feel in the same vein as Dixon Hill one, which was better than I remember it being. They committed fully in that similar vein. A lot of Holodeck episodes, I think later on, they don't commit in the same way. They just kind of like go along the waves of the episode, whereas these early ones, it's like, and we're investing in props and costumes and, you know, going full on.
And I'm looking forward to so much more Pulaski in it.
Yeah. I can't imagine though she's actually that mean to Data throughout, given that they're sort of co-leads of this one. Like, wouldn't they get grating to the point of when the audience notice? Yeah. I
noticed. Tom T puts in $5. I love that you're doing season 2. Thanks. No problem.
You're welcome. Hopefully we'll do season 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Those are the unreleased ones, though. They're not supposed to know about those.
Well, it's Picard seasons 1, 2, and 3. We're going to call them TNG season 8, 9, 10. Because, you know, it's totally going to start right as the other one ended off. And Dan23 asks, do you actually watch the TV show Elementary, the American Sherlock Holmes show?
Yes, I do. Johnny Lee Miller makes a fantastic Sherlock Holmes. However, I wish it was set in Victorian era and not modern day.
I think I've seen 5 seasons of it. I kind of got bored at that point. I just sort of stopped.
Yeah. But he's got the look. He's got the mannerisms of Holmes. He's a good Holmes for sure.
He's more. I think because obviously you've seen the Sherlock, the English version. He's in the ultra high brain functioning version of Holmes, whereas that Holmes is in the more lower functioning quick. Let's go. Like, is it different? I mean, obviously it's different flavors because they came out at the same time, pretty much the same year. So it's kind of like, wow. But yeah, I think it's a good Holmes. Although I never like people addicted to drugs and stories personally. It doesn't connect well with me. So that as a drug addict was like, oh, okay. But Lucy Liu's good.
Well, you know that Sherlock Holmes was a drug addict, right?
I know. Doesn't make it right.
But it was only a 7% solution of cocaine, not the full.
He was also fictional. So.
Excuse me?
Although I wonder, why was it? Was the cocaine just make him smarter then? Was that the idea back in the day?
No, it didn't make him smarter. That's how he dealt with boredom. He was so smart his mind needed to be working on a problem for it. Otherwise, it would tear itself to pieces because it was not connected up to the work for which it was built. If you want a direct quote. So to alleviate the boredom, he took cocaine, which made his mind race, and he could think about other things. And yeah.
Well, you wouldn't think being a fast brain to make it easier to think. You'd think it'd be slowing it down, but yeah.
But you think of abstract things when you're on drugs, and that preoccupies his mind.
Yeah, that version fine.
Instead of boredom.
Which means that the elementary is closer than because it's the exact same thing. You know.
Team MRHS. What do you think of Robert Downey Jr. as Sherlock Holmes? He's absolute garbage. He is not a good Holmes in any stretch of the imagination. He does not look like Holmes. His mannerisms are not. He's just a bumbling idiot in those movies. He's not Holmes. If you want the best Holmes, Jeremy Brett from the British BBC Granada series back in the day.
Well, the best Holmes is always going to be British made. Of course it is. Yeah, it's British born and raised show.
It has nothing to do with the show though. Just Jeremy Brett encapsulates everything that's perfect about Sherlock Holmes. He's got the look. He's got everything about him is perfect. He is the best Sherlock Holmes ever.
But it does have to do with the show because he's dialogue's written by British people, directed by British people. Yes, it does. It's a British show. I like the Sherlock Holmes movies by things. I really like the way that Robert Downey looks at the situation, then does it. I like that idea of sequence events and the way he does it. I thought was just well artistried.
I like the thought process for the fight scenes and stuff. Absolutely, that's great. It was
unique at the time.
But he is not Sherlock Holmes. He makes an awful Sherlock Holmes.
Well, he's a dude playing a story. But the thing is, in movies they can't put too much into it. Did you finally manage to see the comedy one with the dude, the new Holmes one? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, with Will Ferrell.
Yeah, Will Ferrell. I saw it on the plane.
I have not watched that yet.
I quite enjoyed it in like it's shit way.
Yeah, I almost bought it once for $15, and I'm like,
no, that's too much.
Oh yeah, I've heard that it's not great. You want a really good Sherlock Holmes comedy? Watch Without a Clue with Michael Caine and Ben Kingsley.
Michael Caine.
That's a fantastic movie. I love that. And somebody asked about Young Sherlock Holmes. Yeah, I thought Young Sherlock Holmes was brilliant as well. Peter Cushing did a great Holmes. Yep. And we're not talking. This is a whole live stream just talking about the best Sherlock Holmes guys.
I mean,
that'll be a Captain Foley late night thing.
Yes. I mean, we have 4 more minutes to get $15 more in super chats. So if we want to talk Holmes, makes sense. He's on the screen. I think the Data Holmes is also a pretty good Holmes. Honestly,
he's got the look. He's got the look for sure.
A bit pale, but it's all good.
A little bit too exaggerated in his Holmesianess, but
he's literally playing Holmes as opposed to Holmes. So there's the But the Will Ferrell one, I liked it. It was not a good script, but I liked some of the ideas in it. Were kind of fun and very stupid, and I like the take on it. It was just not a good script, but a lot of money was put into it, relatively speaking. And there are some genuine laughs, and to laugh at that sort of film was like, really. You should watch it. Honestly, I think it's worth a watch. I'd love to hear your review. You can do a live review of that if you want.
Yeah, that's something I could do.
Catherine Foley does a full screen capture, full screen cap, scene by scene review analysis of the Sherlock Holmes movie.
I feel like on the Captain Foley personal channel, I should do a whole Sherlock Holmes series, just talking about different Sherlock Holmes. That's something I'm very qualified for, and
yes,
I think people might enjoy. If you guys want to see that on the Captain Foley personal channel, make sure you're subscribed. Captain Foley personal channel.
I think though we're gonna have to do a full Robert Downey Jr. third Sherlock Holmes movie and review when that comes out in a couple of years.
I hope it never does.
It's filming it. I mean, it's filming it soon.
Are they really?
Yeah.
He doesn't make a good Holmes. I'm sorry.
Well, it's been a while. He's more mature now. He's already died once. I think it's funny. The first one I think is rather good. The second one is both clever and dumber. It's weird. I haven't watched them in a while, but
I enjoy the movies. They're fun movies.
oh well. The
But
irony is, I'm guessing for you, those films and the first 3 Transformers are your '09, your Star Wars Trek '09. Just just Holmes, just Transformers in name only to milk the franchise, not actually the spirit of it.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously I don't have that personal connection to Holmes, so I see it as just a well-made film with a good script and some good action beats and some decent acting. You know, Jude Law's an odd choice, but I think pretty decent.
I think he makes pretty good Watson, actually. Who I can't stand as Watson is Lucy Liu.
Well,
But
she's not really Watson, is she? She's other character. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, you know.
I can't stand Lucy Liu personally, so... Although, the best the best role that I like her in is Watson. I've got used to her as Watson.
Yeah.
She makes a good sidekick for that Holmes. However...
Yeah.
And Brian Kesterson says, Cap, how about Basil Rathbone? Basil Rathbone was oversaturated, is a fair way to say that. I love the old radio dramas with him, but not my favorite for sure.
Well, we're in overtime now, guys. $5 and then we can go. Last super chat.
And what about the Sherlock series? I love the Sherlock series. Beautifully done. And Benedict Cumberbatch is amazing in it. But the best one is where they go back to Victorian times for the whatever bride. I forget the title of it. Victorian times is where Holmes is supposed to be, not modern day.
I just
Stop
found
that shit.
I found the story too contrived in that one. It wasn't as smart a story. The scenery was brilliant. That was beautiful, but it wasn't as smart as the other ones. And that show needs to be smart. The one with the one with the hospital dude at the end almost kills him. Really intelligent. Like that's a hell of a ride. You think he's going insane and taking drugs, and it's like that is a ride. You know, and the intimate moments are good. Or the Mind Palace one with the other genius, I thought wasn't as good. If you remember that one, I didn't like that they made the Watson's girlfriend into an assassin. I was like,
yeah,
no, let's not do that. Oh, we did it. Okay, fine. But you're very smart. So what?
Yeah, they tend to ruin characters like that these days. She can't just be a woman that's married to Watson. She's got to be somebody strong and empowered. And Jeff Jacobs puts in 253. Counting the dislikes tonight. Nice job. Made Jeff pay. Yeah, because we got like three dislikes, I think.
6, up to 6, which is weird, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, that's weird. We never get dislikes ever really.
Well, I have 2 words to say to the people that disliked us, and it ain't Merry Christmas.
Thanks for analytics. 3 words.
That's not 2 words.
3 words. Last question there for you from Zachary Gibbons. Thanks for coming back. What actors would you like to see play Holmes who haven't?
I'm glad you asked. Colm Feore would be a fantastic Holmes.
Who is that? How do you spell that?
Colm.
Oh, okay.
And then Feore is Feore.
Foere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, interesting choice.
Are you kidding? He's got the Holmes profile down perfectly. He's a great actor. He's got the look, and he's a friend of mine who he lives in Stratford. My kids went to school with his kids, and we've talked many times. So I think he would make a fantastic Holmes, personally.
That's cool. Yeah, I literally only know him as the villain in Chronicles of Riddick.
Oh yeah, he's been in a lot of other stuff.
And he was way too menacing and just one-tone baddie for that. I was like, that's not the best word. But that's not a particularly good movie, so it doesn't help.
He also plays the surgeon in Face Off. Who cuts the
yeah.
and then gets
That's
killed.
a good movie.
He doesn't have any huge parts except for movies like Bone Cop, Bad Cop. He's really good in that. But yeah, he's got a lot of smaller parts. He was in Pearl Harbor and a bunch of other things.
Quite a bit of 24.
He was in one of the Thor movies as well. I think The Dark, whatever.
Dark World, which is not necessarily a good thing to be in.
No, but he played.
No, he's in the first one. He was the king of the blue guys.
Yes.
In all makeup, which is a weird one.
Yeah.
I really want Face Off in 4K. I really like that movie.
Yeah.
The acting, the overacting acting. Like if you put Nick Cage in a role where he can really let himself go, he's just fun to watch. And that's actually a good script, which does help.
Yes.
Okay. There you go. When's the next stream? And it's on this episode, I guess. When is it, Stuart?
It's going to be Thursday. It'll be Holmes Thursday. I might even show up with a Deerstalker.
The tease.
Oh, shit. That's right. I don't own any of those.
Well, maybe you can buy some on eBay by that time.
I think I might have some.
We'll see. Don't want to promise this guy. Literally only 8 people left. Everyone else is still watching Sherlock Holmes. That's really kind of cool.
I know.
I was waiting for it to like just drop every minute, and they didn't.
That reminds me, when I come to the UK, there's one specific thing I want to buy.
A dignity?
No.
A personality?
I want to buy a Deerstalker hat from England.
Okay. Good.
That's on my to-do list.
Do it. I'll bring my DSLR so I can get some fancy pictures of you in London.
Yeah, and I would love to get one of the Calabash pipes, even though he never actually smoked that, but that's okay. That was just done by William Gillette. Anyway, I do have a fake one, so there you go, Robert Hayes. Bye.
See you next time. Thanks, everyone.
Oh, AC Costello, $2.
Yay.
This is so we get closer to ending the episode. Oh, thank you. It's over now. Thank you.
We love
Bye.
you all.